Hi everybody, it's Randy here from Randy Cycle Service. Tonight I was going to run through a little kind of a tech tip sort of idea here for everybody to see. Basically what I get a lot of times when we get ready to embark on a restoration, particularly upon a British bike, and we get down to the heart of things is, should I rebuild the engine? And my answer is always yes. I don't say that just because I want to rebuild your engine so much, but because it's necessary. Most of these engines now have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years on them or more, depending on their age. You find some things in here that can be quite stunning as far as neglect and abuse and those sort of things. What we're going to concentrate on today is the heart of the matter, and British motorcycles. This crankshaft is actually from a 1965 BSAA 65 650 twin. And I've got it out. Of course, we've already stripped the engine down completely. As you can see, the crankshaft is out here in the vise, noting that I do have some padding on the jaws here just to keep that from being damaged, and we're just very loosely grabbing it by the splines really to hold it in place. But what we're going to do is we're going to go into this crankshaft and we're going to clean out the sludge trap. We're also going to have the crank polished after that as well, and a few other things probably balanced and at the same time. But what I want to concentrate on is the sludge trap, and the reason I want to concentrate on that is I want to show you just exactly what accumulates in one of these sludge traps. Now we're looking at a shade over 40 years time on this of non-detergent oil, possibly no oil changes. This bottom end had not been into at all, so what I'm going to do is actually the first step to get in here. Once we've got everything down, if you look right here on top of it, you'll see a plug in the end of the crankshaft, and that's where you access the sludge trap from. So the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to get my drill, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to drill these 4 little spots where it has been staked in the past, just very lightly enough to remove that so that I can get this plug out. So that'll be the next step you'll see here in just a moment. So now we've got the drill out. We're using about an 1/8 inch drill bit, which is plenty sufficient for this. Again, all we want to do is just remove enough material so that we can clear this to be able to get this plug out. So I'm going to drill the first one. And that again. Alright, you can now see that we have drilled all 4 points where it was staked from the factory. So next step is to get our proper tool here to remove it. Now I've got this special bit. Actually works off of a ratchet here, and it looks like a regular flathead screwdriver bit, but if you actually look at it, it's got a bit of a curve to the top of it. And the reason that is because this slot in this access plug is not flat in the bottom either. If you try to use a regular flathead screwdriver, you're going to damage it. We will be replacing it anyway. However, trying to get it out and then damaging it, it makes for a lot more work. So my next step is I'm going to knock this loose here and take it out. Alright, so now we've got those stake marks drilled out. We've got our tool in hand. We're going to actually use this to bring it out. And, well, that one actually came out quite easily. And most of the time they will if these stake marks have been drilled. So we're going to go ahead and remove this plug now. We're going to see what awaits us in here. Plug's coming out. And, wow, this one is almost completely full. Well, it's about halfway full anyway, but it runs the full length of the journals here. So you can see that's a lot of sludge packed inside there. That can be a real problem if you don't get that out of there and clean it, simply because if you take an engine like this and put it back into service with today's modern oils and the detergents that are in them, what's going to happen is it's going to wash all that out of there. Slowly but surely that will come back out, and what it will do is as it comes out, it will come out of these oil holes drilled on either side of the connecting rod journals. When that gets out of there, it gets into the bearing material that's in the shells of the connecting rods, and then it will damage those. Then it'll go further, it'll precipitate down into the bottom of the crankcase where the scavenge pump will pick it up. When the scavenge pump picks it up, that's going to take it back to the oil tank. Then that's going to send it through the entire system, which will bring it back to the top end of the engine and everything else. Now this is probably some of the worst stuff. This is the abrasive carbon, metal particles, old fuel, everything else, dirt that's found its way past the air cleaner, and everything that's wound up inside the engine. You don't want that stuff in there. It's nasty stuff. You need to get it out. And this again is why we always go into these bottom ends and do them, because at 40, 45, 50 years ago, many of these have not been touched, and that's the reason we need to go in there and do that. So you can see here now what we're trying to accomplish, and that always makes me ask the question, what's inside your engine? We've removed the contents now of the sludge trap on the crankshaft, and I just wanted you to see real quickly what was in it. This is just a big blob of sludge, and it's really kind of hard and sticky. And again, as I pointed out, that was part of the reason you want to get that out of there. You don't want that in brand new bearings. If you look through this, you can't see through it barely anyway, because again, this runs the entire length of the crankshaft journals right here. So that would actually, if it filled up, it could also stop up the oil holes completely and cut off the oil supply to the connecting rods. So what we're going to do when we service this correctly is we have a brand new sludge trap here. It's nice and clear and clean. Of course, it's brand new, and that's just good service practice to replace them. I've seen people clean them. Most of the time, trying to get them out, they usually get distorted, and it's not a great idea to do that. Same goes for the sludge trap plug. Once we've drilled the little stake marks on it, we've gotten it out anyway, and the flat screwdriver type was never really a good design anyway. So what we replace them with now is a brand new plug that actually has a hex plug in it, so you can use a hex key to get it out the next time if you have to go back in there again. Again, it makes your life a lot easier. So now you can see the whole reason for having to do this. And that pretty much concludes our crankshaft pull down for the sludge trap. If you have any other questions about this at all, please feel free to visit our website and we can help you out. It's rcycle.com. Go to the link that says need help and we'll be happy to help you out with anything you've got. Remember, what's in your engine? Thanks for watching.